Vito, Charles Rudd, our city manager, Bobby Pickens, our city attorney, Karen Hayes, our clerk, and Jocelyn. We have Jocelyn, she is our utility director, billing director. We have Dale, and he is our finance director, and Christina, who is our CRA director. And then we're full house. Welcome everyone. With that, Commissioner Banks, would you please open us up with invitation? Please stand if you're able.
Father God, once again, we come before you to give you thanks and to praise and to lift up your name. God, we pray for the individuals that are present tonight, those that are community that are not present. We pray for the Jason Tower community, continue to bless us, lead us, and guide us. We ask this in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, at this time, the regatta. Oh, the regatta, it's this Saturday, and I believe do we know the time? Is it 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock?
I think so. It goes out and around there.
Okay. They're gonna they're putting in.
Three bananas.
Three bananas.
Based operation.
Okay, so we got that. Thank you, Commissioner Leah. With that, at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open it up for public comments. This is on any items that are not on the agenda. We'd like to keep it at that if you can. You will have an opportunity to speak on items that are on the agenda. That you have 3 minutes, if you would. You have 7, topic number 7. Is that, you want to wait till then or you want to speak now?
I want to speak now on something else at 7.
Okay. So I'm going to ask Maureen Cooper if you please come forward. State your name, if you would, please, and your address. And Karen, if you'll start us off.
Okay, Maureen Cooper, 34 North Prospect Street. I just have a general question. I want to understand something. Tonight's meeting is a special meeting, I presume, for the budget, to get the budget passed. So why are all these other items on here? And make it long. It's already going to be long to get through the budget. I just don't.
Because there were items that we felt like we could go ahead and get taken care of, so.
While we're here.
Well,
Oh, I just thought
while we're here,
why they couldn't be on the next meeting.
because it would make the next meeting even longer. So hopefully this will
But
shorten.
normally a special meeting is for something special. So I wanted to clear that up.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have anybody else? I only have one card filled out. Yes, sir.
George Miller, 100 Lake Shore Drive, Crescent City. Just a request, personally, and other people think it's very helpful too. But in the enterprise funds you have, when the monthly reporting, if they could put a dollar amount on the billing that went out at the end of the previous month and the amount of money that was collected to date before the next commission meeting, and then a line for accounts receivable, I think that would keep a lot of people on their toes. And from the meter reading all the way to paying the customers paying the bills.
You want the total balance or do you want them listed, those that,
Those 4 enterprise funds,
okay,
total is billed out, say it's $50,000 for water. 3 weeks later, when the bills are due, what percentage of that has been paid? And the balance would be accounts receivable. That would give you, the commissioners and the city manager, a really accurate picture of how things are running in those enterprise funds.
thank you for your suggestion. Do we have anybody else? Or close out public comment? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close out public comment. And then, Mr. Rudd, I'm gonna turn it over to you, or actually I'm gonna turn it over to Bobby first. Bobby, you've got the second reading of ordinance 2023-10.
Sorry, I don't have to pull it up. Ordinance 2023-10, an ordinance of the city of Crescent City, Florida, amending chapter 4, article 2, section 4.6 of the code of ordinances, providing for severability, providing for implementation of administrative action, providing for codification and directions to the code codifier, and providing for an effective date.
Mayor, this is the second reading of the ordinance to increase the fines for violations of our own ordinance. Recommend approval.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll entertain a motion, please.
I'll move to approve, ordinance 2023-10.
Second.
So we've got a, motion to, adopt this in a second. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, I just wanted to point out, the city manager said to increase the fees, but, it's actually, it's a stepped process where the first time is a written violation and then it's a fine and then it's a higher fine, correct?
Correct.
Right, and we did that, it came out of the workshop, and the purpose was not to collect more money from people, but to have a mechanism to get people to comply for troublesome violations, I think. Just want to be clear on why we're doing it.
Thank you. Good.
Okay.
With that, I'm gonna go ahead and, open it up for public comment. If Commissioners have no more comments on this? Okay, I'm gonna open it up for public comment. Anybody that would like to speak to this? Okay. Don't have any. I'm gonna close public comment. Commissioners, we currently have a proper motion and a second. I'm gonna do, Karen, if you would do a roll call for us, please.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Commissioner Banks,
Aye.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay. So adopted. So we're gonna go on to ordinance 2023-11.
An ordinance of the city of Crescent City, Florida, amending the schedule of fees to be charged by the city of Crescent City for noise, natural gas, general production services, business tax receipts, planning and zoning, special events, parks, code enforcement, water, wastewater, providing for repeal of prior fee ordinances and resolutions in conflict, severability, and effective date.
Mayor, this is the second reading of the ordinance to adopt our fee schedule. We did remove the two items on first reading, which would change the per therm rate charged on natural gas. So we have before you reflect that change. Staff recommends approval.
I'll entertain a motion, please.
I'll move to approve ordinance 2023-11, schedule of fees.
Second.
Okay, we have a proper motion and a second to adopt this. Do we have any discussion?
I have a question for the city manager and city attorney.
Okay.
So, there were identified a couple of, I guess typographical errors. Can those be corrected, after we pass the ordinance?
Do they include that in the motion?
Yeah, if you, include.
I'll include that in my motion to correct all incorrect typing, in my
Do we
motion.
have some scrivener's errors in there, or is it just a, okay,
Yes, there was two things that was, it was already corrected, so.
it was already corrected, okay. Okay, we're good.
Okay, I second
You
the
second,
necessary
yeah.
correction.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other comments? With that, I'm gonna go ahead and open up for public comment. If you have any public comments, please come forward. And no one come forward, I'm gonna close public comment. Okay, Karen, I'm gonna ask you to do a roll call, please. We have a proper motion and a second.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Commissioner Banks,
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay, so adopted. Now we're gonna move on to ordinance 2023-12.
Sorry.
I had sent it to you in email.
Yeah, I got it. An ordinance providing for approving and fixing the budget, setting the millage rate levy at 8.5914, allowing for general operations of the city and its various departments, approving and fixing budgets for special funds and debt service for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023, and ending September 30, 2024.
Mayor, this is the second and final reading of adoption of our 2024 budget. It's a process that began back before June, May, June, workshops. And I did have one item I want to point out to you. Our Better Place Fund, we met with our rep this week, who's gonna do the aerator and vent improvements in the water plant. And the figure that I identified, renovation of aerator structure, $17,200. That's the first of 3 payments for that work. They'll do the work right away. They've offered that to us to spread it out over 3 years. And I didn't make that connection. So this, approving this, which is something we have to do, the aerator we have is already badly deteriorated and needs replacement. And these changes would actually help our aerator last longer with the addition of the power vent. So I just want to make you aware that that 17.2 will show up in next year's budget and the year after as well.
Okay. Commissioner Vaughn, entertain a motion, please.
I'll move to approve ordinance 2023-12.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a proper motion of adoption and a second. We have discussion. Commissioner?
I have one question for the city manager.
Okay.
Well, okay, in the budget summary, I'm looking here, and under, the expenditures, under the law enforcement line, it says 494,825, which I understand is the cost of the sheriff, correct?
Yes.
I didn't get a real good look at it, but I could have sworn I saw something on social media today where someone posted something that made it look like we were spending $700,000 in that same line, which was news to me and is not reflected here, correct?
They may have collapsed. Police, fire, and code enforcement is often lumped together as public safety.
Right,
And
but,
that total would be higher than the sheriff's contract, obviously.
but did we publish it that way in the Flat Daily News or anything of that nature?
No.
I don't think so.
But
Okay,
you read it on social media.
you're right, well, I'm just saying, this is the budget.
Okay, well, this is, yeah, so
Right.
again, don't rely on social media. Come ask questions. Please don't rely on social media. Is that your only question that you had with that?
Well, that was my only question. I just have observation
Okay,
to share with my fellow commissioners. One thing, I think we had these handed out in printed form at one point during a workshop. But the thing I want us as commissioners to keep in mind, and this would be a good thing, I think, to publish for the public and for us. The cost of everything is going up, and what I would really like to see us take a look at in next year's budget and if we do our budget amendment, is looking at what the year-over-year costs are and are predicted to be for our audit, for liability insurance, staff salaries, all those things that are going to go up, and get a real sense of how those true up against our revenue. Just to make sure that we know, in other words, what our fixed and recurring costs are compared to the rate of increase of our income. That might be good news, that might be scary news, but that's something that I think we need to look more at. And also, I'm hoping that we will have a list of our capital needs sometime soon, like the things that are in the Better Place plan, so that we can start to plan for them. And I know the city manager said he's working on it, but I think it's our responsibility to look at those things and make sure we understand the trends and what the needs are for the future. So that's my observation on what I hope we'll do going forward.
So, for clarification.
Yes.
I just wanna make sure, Charles, you understand what she's,
Yes, yeah, we just do that. We'll start a little earlier next year, start mapping that out.
Well, and then if we have to do a budget amendment, that would be a good time for us to look at those, I'm talking about trends and fixed costs. You know,
what we have, yeah.
Yeah. you do.
right,
Is there any other discussion? Okay. I think we need to make sure that everybody is, made aware that what we've got in front of us, that our millage rate, we have not increased for many years. So the reason there is an increase in revenue that we're getting in ad valorem is because the cost of property values have gone up. The Save Our Homes Act, I believe that was in 1995, it created that there's a 3% cap or cost of living, whichever is less. So typically, you're always gonna get on your homesteaded property annually a 3% increase if it's homesteaded. So that's why you have, our revenues has gone up, not because we've raised the taxes, we've kept our millage rate the same. We've kept our millage rate the same way, and we don't control, the assessment on those properties. So just for clarification purposes. Okay, with that, if nobody else has any other comments, I'm gonna open it up for public comment. Do you have any public comment? Okay, no public comment. We got the budget. This is it. Let's do it, Karen. Do a roll call, please.
Commissioner DeVito,
aye.
Commissioner Banks,
Aye.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Mayor Morris.
Aye. Okay, the budget is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty, Dale, Charles, everyone that's been involved in this. Thank you. I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, a lot of work, and we appreciate it, and we appreciate all the time you spent with us and making sure that, you know, we knew we're up to date with it.
Just think you can start it all over again.
I do want to recommend, that we would, just as before we go any further with this budget item, we discussed it before. And Charles has brought up that with this, the Better Place Fund, the pickup truck, the dump truck, the trencher, the sewer jet, possibly even a pipe squeezing device, that oftentimes, they have opportunities through auctions, through various sources to get those, to get some much better deals on those. But in order to do that, we would have to give, the city manager that spending authority not to exceed those amounts. And so I think, Bobby, we could do that through a motion, could we not, give them for those certain items? So that if it does come up, we don't lose out. Otherwise, we have to call an emergency meeting, and we had to do that before with trucks.
They usually buy them at an auction online.
Yeah.
You know, they act when it's available to use.
So, commissioners, if that's something that you want to entertain, that we do, a motion to give him that authority, I'm gonna leave that with y'all.
Okay, I would like to move that this commission gives authority to the city manager, to purchase from Better Place Plan funds in the amounts listed, no greater than, if a good opportunity is found. Items from.
Would you name them out?
Yes, and just tell me when to stop. The pickup truck F-250, or do you want me to say the amount? Okay, up to and not exceeding $51,000. The pickup dump truck F-450, up to and not exceeding $65,000. The trencher, up to and not exceeding $100,000. The sewer jet, up to and not exceeding $40,000. The pipe squeezing device, up to and not exceeding $4,000.
That's it.
That would be it. Okay, so we have a proper motion, do we have a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second, do we have any further discussion?
I was just gonna say, I made the motion because I think our Public Works Department has a very good track record of finding opportunities for used and auction equipment that have benefited us. Yeah.
Okay, and that will work for you, correct?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna open it up, if we have any public comments on this. Okay, we'll close public comment. So Karen, if you would do a roll call on that, please.
Commissioner Barton,
Aye.
Commissioner Banks,
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay, so approved.
Thank you for reminding us.
Okay, we're gonna move into our business items. Before we go forward with that, I just wanna ask a question. Ms. Cooper, you put number 7. Is that number 7 is all the business
No,
items?
just the first one.
Just the first one on the utility billing write-offs? Okay, thank you. I just want clarification.
Mayor, the first item is approval of write-offs for the utility billing from 2011 to 2021. Normally, this would occur every year. Has not occurred since 2011. So we brought this to you. So it is a large amount of money, $59,247.35. I gave you a list of the itemized years. You can see it's typically in the range of $3,000 to $4,000. So with the exception of 2019, which was a large amount due to, that was the year we had the rogue meter reader who was estimating meters, and we had a huge refund and so forth. So the other years are all kind of in line with a typical year. These are unpaid bills that went to a collection company, and the collection company was unsuccessful at getting the money back. So this takes it off our books.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please? Let me take a motion for it.
Can we discuss that?
No, you should have a
I
motion.
need a motion first, and then we can discuss it. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the write-offs on the utility building from 2011 to 2021.
thank you. Second.
Second for discussion.
Okay, let's open it up for discussion. So Commissioner Banks, you obviously, you have something. Yeah, please, Mike.
Oh, okay, nobody can hear me, okay. Well, I'm concerned because I know there's gonna be some write-offs and we can't adjust the audit, so it won't be no write-off. And almost in every kind of business that you're in, you're gonna see with it at the end of the year, or however we figure it out, there's gonna be some write-offs. But what can we do as a commission to try to help that? In the years past, we done tried, and we always had this problem with great amount going to the write-offs. We up the deposit, we do 2 or 3 different things. But what can, and we need to brainstorm this and see what can we do to try to help keep this much from going to write-off. Because when we send this to a collection agency, when we do get a hit, it ain't gonna be that much. Very little bit. Very little bit.
Okay, are we able to, part of the discussion, are we able to see where most of these write-offs come from? Are they?
Do you want Jocelyn? Jocelyn's here. She can, Jocelyn, would you come to the podium, please? Just what?
It's not often I get here.
It's nice to see you.
Thank you for being here tonight,
Yeah.
You're welcome.
and your husband also, so thank you for.
For sitting through this. Yeah, so my question is, are we able to kind of see where, most of these write-offs kind of come from? Now, this one that's $13,000, I remember that year, that was kind of an odd year, but, and how does this happen? I mean, are these just bills that don't get paid? Yeah, and so we're able to kind of focus and zero in on where that happens the most, or
Right.
does it happen in the single unit houses, apartment buildings?
Most of the time it's rentals.
It's the rentals.
Yeah, most of the time.
But I can speak to this as good as you because I worked almost 40 years for a utility company. We always had this problem regarding to how we adjust the deposit. There always was gonna be a little bit there for very rarely the customer get a refund check back after he closed the account out. It always left a balance there for the company. And we had people, that's all they were doing, sitting down studying, trying to figure out how to do that. And I don't think they come up, since I done retired, I don't think they come up with a solution yet.
Part of the reason is the readings. We have one meter reader and we have 1,400 customers. So the meter reader starts at the beginning of the month, and by the time you bill them, their bill is from the month prior to this month, and we don't bill it till the end of the month. So by the time you do a disconnect, they already have another full bill, plus more towards the following bill in their readings. So if we were to turn them off, they're already getting disconnected for at least 2 months and then some. So it makes it difficult when you have one. So if you have that little push button system like Palaca has, you could get the readings 2 days before and bill everybody. And we would be up to date. Nobody would have them readings waiting to be billed.
And that's the automated reading system? Is that like an
That's the
automated meter
yeah.
reader, meeting readings?
Yeah, it's very
I'm
costly.
sure that's very costly.
Yes, it is.
I'm sure that is. The social security numbers, I mean, does this go against their credit? Do we?
Yes,
So
we
it does,
send them to the collection agency, yes.
and so they do send it to the credit bureaus also?
Correct.
Okay.
Everything we have on them, their emails, phone numbers
So
at
this
the
is on.
time, driver's license, all that stuff.
But you know, I don't know how much that would help. I know it would help some,
Right.
but right now, and I got to bring this up and bring that out. The utility company that I retired off of, that telephone company now, hello,
Yeah.
Your light bill at a certain date, your lights go on automatically. They ain't got to come around to your house like they used to do. So there was not a big time gap in it. I know we got a handicap because we're not all the way up to date like we should be.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So are there laws though that
We
basically
need to
say you
turn the light
can't
down.
just go and shut these things off?
Commissioner
Oh, I'm sorry. Are there, laws involved that, suggest that you can't go just shut these things off or, that's kind of what he's saying.
If
You
it's,
pay
if
the
it's
bill.
gas, yeah, if it's natural gas and it's during the winter time, it has to be above a certain temperature for it to shut them off, even if they have a bad bill.
That's what I mean, because I know.
Yeah. So far as the water and such, no.
Okay.
And my understanding is you've been even trying to do courtesy calls, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Every month.
Commissioner DeVito?
Yeah, a member of the public asked me this question, it's not my question, I'm asking it for somebody, I don't see him in the audience, so I'm gonna ask. They asked me if, for the rentals, or I guess for anything else, is it possible to lien the property for overdue water bills or
No.
utility bills? No, you
No.
cannot.
It's not the property owner's responsibility for someone else's bill.
Okay, I did not know the answer to the question, so I'm asking it.
Chances are if they walked out on their water bill, they might have walked out on them.
They probably walked out on
Right.
a day or two.
So I think the person who asked the question just wanted to know, does the city have any mechanism for recovery? And then just, my question is, just roughly, not to penny, just ballpark, what percentage of annual billing are our write-offs? Like, how much do we bill in a year, say? Just ballpark, and if you don't know now, just, we'll look that up some other time. I think it
Yeah,
would
I'm
be,
not sure.
I think it would be good to know what our percentage is.
I can probably figure that out.
Okay,
I don't have it for you today, but
that's okay,
it's doable.
that's fine.
And I asked Jocelyn the question as far as, we're stopping at 2021. We need to get on a schedule of doing this annually. I know that's been some of the criticism, but we need to do this annually, but she, shared with me that they still have, there's a possibility that they'll still do some recoveries for 22, and, 23, when we go into that, they're still hoping for some recoveries between either our office or the collections office. So we didn't, so next year we would be writing off possibly 2022.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted that for clarification. Do we have any other questions of Jocelyn before I open it up to public comment?
Actually, I have a question for the city manager.
Okay.
So Charles, one thing that I asked you was, because this came up kind of late, you said there was one reason we're doing this now is there was an auditor's comment about it. I was hoping to actually see what that said, and I think I asked you, but we never connected back up on the answer. If we don't do these write-offs at this meeting before the end of the fiscal year, does anything bad happen? I mean, what happens if we don't do the write-offs till next month?
Nothing I know. I mean, I looked for the language specifically, I couldn't find it other than our balance, reference to balancing our accounts or something. This is just.
This is
uncollected
lost
revenue.
revenue though.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
It must go somewhere, when we're putting together our taxes or something, must show up somewhere as lost revenue, right?
Well, we budgeted, we anticipated revenue, and then, we have actuals, and this would not show up as actuals, so there'd be a difference there, but other than that, it's.
Okay, I have another question, maybe you should stay here just for one more minute. Now, you mentioned this auto shut-off deal, now where was this up in, who has this?
Black.
I like that.
Palaca. Okay, so the auto, why can't, we should be looking at that.
We are, in fact, the guy that was here this week sells that service. It's a multi-million-dollar project.
Okay,
There's a big upfront, which they can spread over years, but it's a debt, we would take on debt.
well, now let me ask you, we have people now building new homes, we have people, of course, in the older homes, people in the older rentals. The rental units, should be equipped with that, can't you do it in stages? Where actually people that have the property could help the city.
Well,
do this kind of thing.
we're currently still upgrading to our, I don't know what we call that, radio reads. Every time we put in a new meter, it's the new radio read, which, Corey is using. This new system will replace all of our water meters, all of our gas meters. So it's a big sweeping change, yeah.
Okay,
And,
We would get 24 reads, we could get 12 reads a day instead of 1 month with that system.
and when we charge a deposit, we charge an average of 2 months billing, or I think if we did that, it would help us some. Is we there now? And that,
If they get disconnected, yes, they have to pay whatever balance is on their account.
What's our deposit now? Is it 2 months? What's the water deposit right now?
The water for rental is, 150.
And is that about 2 months
To
worth?
200, I believe, and the admin fee is 50.
And you think that's about 2 months worth of
Probably,
bill?
yes.
Yeah, it's
If they have-
approximately 2 months worth of bill.
If they have gas as well, they have a gas deposit as well.
Yeah.
So, they would have both.
So we're there, we have somewhat of a mechanism in place, but
yeah, just take time to get there.
With that, if that's everything, I'll go ahead and open it up for public comment. I'll open it up for public comment. Ms. Cooper, you have this, ma'am. You come forward. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Okay. First of all, how did this go 10 years? I know it's not your fault, people sitting here, but was it just discovered? How did it go 10 years?
We got it, we get it every month. They've been getting it every month for, the packet.
So, okay, so when were they sent to collection? Recently, or 9 years ago, or 5 years ago, or?
Each year, 2011, they were sent.
Oh,
in
each year you do
2012.
it. Okay, now are they sold, because most city utility companies bundle up delinquent accounts and then sell them to a collection agency at a discount to get some kind of return. We don't do that.
No, we don't sell them.
So we send it to the collection agency, they get it or they don't get it, and that's it.
Right, they get charged, the customer, the resident will get charged the agency fee before it gets sent to collections. when they collect them for us, they send us a check with the whole amount plus the fee.
Uh-huh.
And then we send them a check back for what we owe them. So it doesn't cost the city, but
Okay,
and if we collect them in-house, we then know to the collection agency that they've paid such and such amount on such and such a day.
and I assume that before you send them to collection, you credit any deposit you might have?
Yes. They have to be closed out and finalized before we send them to collections. We wait 30 days and then we send them to collections.
So if it's done every year, why are we just now writing off 10 year? I'm trying to figure it out.
And then the administration just didn't bring it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we write off something going back that long? I mean, IRS has rules as to how many years you can go back.
You can.
We can? Okay. And are our deposits in an interest-bearing account?
Non-interest bearing account.
Sorry?
Non-interest bearing account.
Is there, why can't we put them in an interest? Because I know I have an account in Volusia and mine's in an interest-bearing account.
Because it's not our money. It's the residents and the commercial accounts funds.
Well, in Volusia, my water is in an interest-bearing account. You could at least make some money.
That's a suggestion, maybe that's something that Dale possibly we could, can you speak to it?
We can't do that.
Okay.
It's all been thought out. We're not allowed to do that.
All right,
That's a good thought, I guess.
Yeah, good stuff.
Shame.
I think it's one of those that can get messy too, because then you've got the interest that it's gaining and the notifications and that to go out.
BJ Laurie, 505 Magnolia Avenue. My thought was, this is $60,000 is the total, right? We didn't have a is there a breakdown? It wasn't in the packet.
Yeah, there's a breakdown.
Okay. That's fine. If it's 10 years worth, that's $6,000 a year. That doesn't seem like a huge amount of money, really. I mean, because we bill hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, right? So, I mean, I know we haven't done it in a while. I think you just do it, get it off here, and let's go on. Because I really think $6,000 is not, I remember Commissioner Banks, you and I, when we were serving together in 2005 and 2006, the first time we doubled deposits, and we were writing out $20,000, $30,000 a year, right? So I mean, $6,000 for 1 year is nothing, really. That's a success story. So I think we just need to move on.
The majority of these are in the 3,000 range. There's a couple that are, 2 that are 4 and then 2 years that were 6. The one that hurt us was the 2019. That was the $13,000 a year. So the majority of these, really and truly, when you look at the amount that's billed monthly, that's, a small percentage on an annual basis.
Well, we budgeted water sales at $375,000 for the coming year.
So.
It's a small percentage.
I like the idea of the road gas meter guy, that's pretty good for Halloween.
Okay, with that, is there any other public comment on this?
so that is so that
Yes,
is reflected on the budget, the 60,000 write-off is reflected on the budget?
Yes, Charles,
I didn't hear that.
you got that reflected in the budget, correct? The 60,000, we don't have it, it's not in the budget anyway.
No,
is
it's
it?
not there.
Because
This is past revenue we did not receive.
Okay, thank you.
if we collected it, then it would be additional revenue on top of what we already have budgeted for. So hopefully if we get anything from 2022 or 2023, that will be additional revenue that can come back in, correct?
Well, hopefully we do that before 2025.
Okay, with that, commissioners, is any other comments?
Mayor, yes, I think this was a great discussion. But I think, Mr. Laurie brought up a very important point that, the information about the annual amount of the write-offs that we have wasn't in our packet. A lot of the details have, been fleshed out in the meeting. But for that reason, I would like to see us, just hold off on taking the vote to do the $60,000 write-off and bring it back at the next meeting. Put the, information about the annual amounts in the packet and maybe a little, the summary in the packet that includes some of the information that was brought forward. Because I've received quite a few questions on this, and, I mean, it's just that it's a big amount of money, and I have a real hesitation, voting on something like this when people weren't able to really read about it.
But Commissioner DeVito, wait a second, Commissioner DeVito.
Yes.
When you look at this on a year-by-year basis, it's not a big amount of money.
Right, I
It
mean,
truly isn't, and we're trying to do we're cleaning house, we're trying to get some house cleaning done here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one sheet.
right, I understand that, but what I'm
But it's
saying
not
is,
even a payment, Lisa. We're not paying any money out.
I know
We're just
that.
cleaning up the sheet.
Okay.
that I'm
Who made
well
the
aware of
motion,
that.
Karen, remind me, when did Commissioner DeVito made the motion, who made the motion?
I do.
You made the motion.
And then Commissioner Banks seconded the motion.
Okay, so currently, unless you want to make an amendment, unless you want to do an amendment, I've got a proper motion and a second.
Okay, well, I don't see the need to draw it out. I made my suggestion, so I think we can go ahead and vote.
Karen, will you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner DeVito,
No.
Commissioner Banks,
Aye.
Commissioner Burton,
All right,
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay, so it passes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is coming to us from our downtown partnership. They have another really cool idea for downtown. It's a lamppost decorating contest. And we provide some pictures on the desk for you that were sent in. And there's a memo attached from Christina about the details. And then folks are here to answer questions if you have any, requesting permission to utilize the poles downtown.
Okay. So you're asking permission to use the poles
For this conference, Halloween and it's the holiday, Halloween and Christmas.
Okay, Commissioner, I'll entertain a motion, please.
I'll move to approve, request for the lamp post decorating contest.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Commissioners, do we have any discussion? Do we have any questions? Yes, Commissioner DeVito?
Sure, I have a question. The city manager provided additional information with some pictures of, how these things have looked somewhere else. He assured me that there were provisions in place, so that the lamp post wouldn't be damaged in any way. And he also told me that, the downtown partnership, I said, well, what about content? You know, who's gonna control what somebody can put up? And I believe the city manager said, there would be some appropriate rules. The additional question I have is, it looks attractive, but when this is done in other places, is it done as a fundraising thing? And has there been given any thought to try and get the merchants to actually decorate their windows for the holidays?
Yes, the merchants are decorating. In fact, the partnership's working on that as well, to decorate, work with them to decorate their windows in addition to these poles.
Okay, and I mean, do most, when this is usually done, is it used for fundraising purposes, or is this something new that we're adding to it?
I don't know.
We don't know, okay, that's fine. That's all.
Yes, would you want to speak to it?
Mary Robbins, 508 North Lake Street, and clarification on the fundraising. It's, we're charging $30 per season per pole, and some of that is offsetting the signage that the partnership is going to have to do for the advertising of each pole to recognize the sponsor of the pole. So it's not a huge fundraiser for us, but what we're looking to do is bring the community together, because we're asking the merchants, the organizations, our liaisons, and residents. The Smith family wants to sponsor a pole and come out, they can do so. So it's an opportunity for us to bring the community together at a very crucial time here, coming up on the holidays. With regards to what you were asking about, Commissioner, there's a second page in what you have handed out of guidelines, and there's some things, sort of do's and don'ts that you can and can't do. No adhesives, attaching the, second page. yeah, trying to cover everything down.
Thank you. Any more questions, Commissioner Taylor? You good? Commissioner, do you have any other questions?
No, I think it's very good.
I'm gonna open it up for public comment. Do we have any public comment on this? Yes, ma'am.
Where does the money go that the people pay to do your thing, to do the decorating? Where does that money go? Is that what you use to give the cash prizes back?
Part of it, yeah, but it's $30 a poll times 30 polls, so there's not a lot of money, and like I said, we have to pay advertising for.
So
each
nothing
poll.
comes back to the city? I'm just,
No, the partnership, which is.
but you pay the prizes, we don't have to pay.
Yes, no, partnership.
Thank you.
That looks cute. Yeah, it's festive. It's festive, I'm excited.
I don't know who idea with that, but it's a good idea. Very good idea.
Then we'll use our pictures to put on our scarecrow. Somebody will take care of that, correct? Okay. Do we have any other public comment on this? Okay, we have no other public comment. Want to go ahead, I think we don't have to do roll call on this one. We've got a proper motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, so moved.
Mayor, the next item is our annual request from Pink Out Putnam for a donation, $100 donation. You can see they've already pinked out City Hall.
Yeah.
And staff recommends approval of the donation.
Okay.
It would come out of the next fiscal year's,
Out of the community, that comes out of our community, correct?
comes out of your line for contributions.
Contributions, yes. Okay, Commissioner Doll, entertain a motion, please.
I move that we donate to, is it donation?
Yeah.
To Pink Out Putnam, $100.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a proper motion and a second. Commissioner, do we have any discussion?
I have something, kind of a public service announcement about Pink Out Putnam. I really, and this is very personal to me and probably to a lot of people sitting in this room, just to remind everyone what Pink Out Putnam is really about. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Last year at the Women's Club, Dr. Curabella, our cancer specialist in Palatka, came and spoke to the Women's Club, and he said the following: take care of your health, get a primary care doctor, get your mammograms, look after your friends and neighbors, have the buddy system, make sure that they get their mammograms on whatever schedule their doctor recommends. I just want to make very sure that while we're decorating in pink, we remind ourselves what it's about and to take care of ourselves and our neighbors.
Thank you. The month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so. And they did a really nice job. They really pinked us up this year. They really did. You can notice it from wherever you're coming in from. So, do we have any public comment on this? With that, we'll close it. All in favor of the proper motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. So moved. We've got the discussion of the Miller Middle School.
Mayor, yeah, this item was tabled last meeting to this meeting, so it's on your agenda tonight.
Okay, do we have a discussion?
There's no new information. We're expecting a report, preliminary data from a consultant on master planning, which is property prominently a part of that process.
Well, where do we stand? On the school out there. Where do Crescent City stand, on it? Is there, look like in a hope that one day that maybe we'll be able to get peace of it?
Well, it'll be part of the master plan. We're expecting a draft of that in about a month. And that'll come back to you. There'll be a public meeting, and then there'll be a planning and zoning meeting about it, and then there'll be a city commission meeting. All looking over the draft, see if you'd like, and they'll have a proposal from what they've heard of how we want that property to be used, along with the rest of downtown and the US 17 corridor. So they'll have some conceptual drawings, and that's our opportunity to look at it and go, no, that's really not what we meant, or yes, that's exactly what we're talking about, and they'll be able to adjust the draft so that they come back with a hopefully the final draft towards the end of the year, beginning of the next calendar year. So we'll have they've taken all of our input from multiple sources, both public meetings, focus groups, online surveys, and they're gonna draw something for us and describe something that they think sounds like the community wants for that project, and then we'll have a chance to edit it, look at it and say whether we agree or disagree. And that'll come back to you. That next public meeting is November 1st, I believe.
Okay, after we go through all that process, do it look like I reckon I'm back in the community too. Do it look like it's gonna be some hope that the city of Crescent City, we as the citizens, be able to move towards something, get something out of it, or?
Yes, sir. Well, if the approved plan is to acquire the property, all of it or a piece of it, then that becomes our mission, is to acquire the property. So we'll have to figure out how to make the numbers work.
Oh, okay. Cause I have people asking me about it. And I used to go to school board meetings. As I got older, I ceased from going to some of the meetings. But, it's good for us to go up there and show our face. It really are up there to the school board. And I think the more they see our face, more action we'll get from the school board when we are trying to get some of these things that we're trying to get on the south end.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cause we always kind of, to me, in years past, we always been kind of the lost sheep past Dunn Creek Bridge. But you know, I know things have changed now, so hopefully, maybe in the future, we'll be able to.
Well, to their credit, we're getting the first new school from the bond referendum, and we're getting our high school renovated, the first in the high school to be
That's a
renovated.
big deal. They'll do a tremendous amount for our community. Commissioner Dan.
So my question, Charles, is, the interlocal agreement regarding school planning between the county and the cities, it's got a number of provisions, and some of them include a discussion, I think, that's supposed to happen between the school district and the municipality wherever a school is being closed. And not only is that the Miller Middle School, but eventually it will be the Middleton Burning School as well, correct?
Yes.
That we're supposed to have updates. So I know that you went to a meeting with all the entities that are in the inter parties to the interlocal agreement, because you told us about that. But are you, do you or the school district, do y'all have plans to have those informational meetings just regarding what's happening in our area? Are any of those scheduled or been discussed?
It's not been scheduled or discussed. What I believe the next step is we're gonna see a draft of proposed revisions to the agreement.
Well, and to me, I'm not as interested in that as I'm interested in the provisions of the existing agreement that require the school district to coordinate with the entity where they're closing a school and where they're building a new one. That has potential for us. So, I mean, it's my hope that we keep the line of communication going, not just for the entire interlocal agreement, which, I mean, I'm glad it surfaced and that there's a meeting and all that, but that they communicate with us about what's happening in our area. And because there are opportunities for even planning the new school for coordination, as well as coordination as they're winding down an old school.
The new school is not within the city limits, so Bobby, I don't know, do they have, I don't think do they have to include us in that?
Legally, probably no, since it's outside the city limits.
Yeah.
It's in the county.
County, so with the new school, you know, I guess we'll have to see as we go forward with the discussions, I'm sure they'll bring it, I would hope they would. And Charles asked them if they could, you know, maybe quarterly give us an update, just.
Yeah, we can touch it.
We probably, I don't know whether they'll be connected to our water because our sewage
They're gonna, yeah, we'll be,
Those are enterprises though that you.
Yes, go there, right.
well, and we already have water and sewer running out to the hay field, correct? It's just the gas that they're gonna have to.
Correct.
But the thing, the point, the point of the interlocal agreement is coordination. I don't think in principle it really matters whether it's on the other side of the line or not. And the other thing is, I think Commissioner Banks had a great idea of being present at school board meetings, and maybe we could work out a way to coordinate where, we take turns at least attending. I mean, it's kind of a heavy burden to add, going to a school board meeting for one person to do it, but maybe we could work out something where we could trade off. As Commissioner Banks said, we could be present, so that we're there.
Any more discussion on this?
I was wondering if anyone in the public has any comments.
Well, I was gonna open that up, I'm just asking
I'm sorry,
Commissioner,
no.
I'll conduct this, okay. Do we have any public comment on this? Anybody like to speak on this? Please come forward.
It's me again.
You'll state your name, please.
EJ Laurie, 505 Magnolia Avenue. Well, you gotta wait till I get all the way up.
I am.
Start. It doesn't take that long, it's just a few. I've talked to you guys before about this, and I don't want to feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I think that the important part is having a dialogue with the school district and the school board. Everything is up in the air for the next 3 years because they're going to need parts of that school and parts of that campus. But from what I've been told, until that point, until they're done with the new school, they're going to be having that facility. But at that point, after that point, they're going to need something to be done with that, and it's going to be a liability as far as that's concerned. And they can't really carry property that they don't need. And we are the prime choice for what to do with that is to give it to the city of Crescent City. And there's so many options. You've heard the public and all their enthusiasm for what we can do with that property. But it's a long process. And over the next 3 years, if we're working on getting some grants and getting some money and commitments from other people, then that would give us the right timeline to go forward. Now, as far as the interlocal agreement goes, regardless of where the school is, the interlocal agreement says you're supposed to coordinate facilities with the municipalities. So that school is being built on the line. In fact, half the property that they bought is in the city limits. And they are planning on probably building a bus compound in the city limits. So they do have to talk to us. I mean, they are building a school.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think we have to look at the interlocal agreement to force them to talk to us. I think we just need to talk to them.
Well, and that's the key, is we need to talk to them, we don't need to direct them.
Right.
So
That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
that's where we've had some issues, is we've been directing them, or they felt like we've been directing them. So we need to talk to them and open up those lines of communication, and let them know that we're all very interested in that.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying for 3 months now. And having a Blue Ribbon Commission and a committee of people, not just the commission talking to them, but some citizens that want to be involved. I mean, I've already talked to John Newbold, and he has been very enthusiastic about talking to us and helping us with negotiations with the school board and just being able to talk and get on board with this project. So it just takes some talking, some communication. So I just would like to keep you guys, keep the lines of communication open, because I think the options are there, and it's too much of a reward. It's just too much of a lifetime, once in a lifetime opportunity to just turn away from it. So it's.
Thank you for this, Jim.
Watch out.
Anybody
Backwards
else?
now.
With that, we're gonna move on to discussion of stray dog problems. Commissioner DeVito, I believe you asked for this to be put on the agenda.
I did. I just wanted to share with my fellow commissioners, my experience and then, the experience of other people that were shared with me. Over Labor Day weekend, in my neighbor's yard, there was a pack of 3 dogs. 2 of them were large, 1 was smaller. they came over and threatened me in my yard. They were very aggressive. I called the sheriff wasn't able to find them. Animal control called me, I think it was over the weekend, animal control called me that next week. I gave them all the information I had, except no picture. I was not in a position, down by the lake to take a picture when I was being threatened. And it turns out they were in my neighbor's yard, threatening, being aggressive to my neighbor. Other people on South Main Street had experienced them running through their yards and killing other animals. And then after that, I guess I put a warning out that these dogs were running around, and some other people around town got in touch with me and said that they had seen 2 or 3 dogs running together in different places in town. So I never heard any more from animal control. I just wanted to ask the commission and the city manager, we had the workshop on animal control. And I think the county was going to get back to us with some updates. Have we heard anything from them?
I don't know.
We have not, I know they've had a changeover, and I think they have a new director, they've hired the new director. So I think possibly they were just getting acclimated, he was getting acclimated, so Charles, I guess that's something we do need to revisit that. I know there's a pack of dogs, I got them on camera, I believe, Commissioner Burton, you got some on camera too. I've sent them to animal control, the ones I had, animal control, somebody else shared pictures of them. It's very important that you get as good a picture as you possibly can. The problem is that when somebody does show up, these animals are running, they're running.
They move through extremely fast.
I've chased them for several hours. I know, Mr. King, you chased them with animal control one Saturday. They're just, and then when you do come upon them, I know one I sat with for 2 hours over here at between Eagle Lion and Methodist Church, and Captain Usry came, animal control came, and nobody could get him. He just, they're limited in how they can approach these animals. So, I guess what we need to do is we need to have another discussion. Jesse?
Is we allowed to have a dog pound in Crescent City, kennel inside city limits?
Well, they offered, Jenny at the kennel, and that was part of that workshop, she has offered that she would, as long as the dog is not, too aggressive, but
No, but I'm talking about
within the city.
the individual person.
Oh, are people allowed to have
Yeah,
kennels, their
kennel.
own personal kennels where they're raising dogs?
Oh, right, in the city limits.
That is,
There is a number of dogs that they can have. I don't know what the number is, but I think
It's a lot.
yeah.
That's 5 or 6.
Yes, and, we might wanna look at that again, but yeah, they are allowed to do that here, and, that can be dangerous.
Yeah.
It seems like whatever's happening with them, and Captain, there was one that we thought that possibly it was a house, and I think the captain went to that house, and it was not that house, and he identified with the pictures, those dogs. But it seems like somebody's letting them loose at night, or else they are wild already, and then they're just running at night. They're coming out, because most of the times they're out, when you get pictures or you see them there, it's at night, if it's in the pack. So, and it's not like 7 o'clock at night, it's oftentimes 12, 2 o'clock, in the morning, so.
I know several months ago, someone, I think on Commissioner Burton Street, one of her neighbors, it was very distressing, they had video of a dog trying to break into their porch at night, late. But my main concerns about the county are just communicating with them that we continue to have problems, and also, at that workshop, the public and the commissioners here, we had some very specific suggestions. And there's some, I just don't think they've implemented at all. I mean, it's a very cumbersome process right now to report something to animal control. I just, I wish they would really look at that, because if it wasn't so cumbersome, I think it would free up a lot of their time. But just regardless, I think we need to hopefully communicate with them about that.
Yeah, I know they've had, and I believe they've added 2 additional,
They've added 2
one
additional,
that you would know.
right, and they've also added an additional dispatcher.
Additional dispatcher. Last time I spoke to somebody, it was somebody different from who I spoke to prior, so I knew it was a new person. So, and we lost Cheryl, correct?
Yes,
She retired.
Brian Helms, that has taken over as director, has also got his animal control certification. He's also getting his euthanasia certification. He's really getting his boots on the ground in there, yes.
Yeah.
Linda, you're an advisory for the board, or on the board.
I'm on the board, yes.
Yeah, we appreciate it if, if you keep us updated a little bit on what they're kind of doing and what they're up to, because this is all new news to me. I'm glad to hear that things.
Well, that didn't come through the board, that came through the county government.
Through the
It
county
did not,
government?
yeah, they
Okay.
decided that they needed more help out there and they added staff. That did not come from the advisory board.
Okay.
Not saying that we didn't.
You got the info. You got the scoop.
Well, I get
And that's-
this because I'm in and out of animal control frequently.
Okay.
I take donations up there, take the girls' donations. They work very hard and they're very unappreciated for what they do.
They really do work
They
hard.
really do work hard. It's not an easy process. It isn't.
I know when Cheryl came down that one day and she and I were, I wouldn't do that. She just had
A catch pole.
no, she didn't even, she did have a catch pole. She had a catch pole, but she had what is it, the leash?
Yeah,
She gave me one just in case that I carry, just in case I'm in a situation where I can, find one, but I was like, if it's aggressive, and then she's gotta somehow or another try to get that aggressive dog
into that truck.
into that truck, and that's where I told her she was on her own there. I said, when you catch it, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to help you get that
The
dog.
problem they have too is you see a dog now and by the time you get dispatched and they have dispatched somebody down here, that dog's 2 miles away. It is a difficult problem. It really is. And most of the dogs are coming in from out of the county, I believe, out off of Reed, out in that area.
And I believe that Julianne Young, that she heard us at that meeting, and she's trying to stay on top of it and do everything that she can.
Well, it was under planning and zoning before. They didn't get much assistance there. It's been moved under Suggs and Julianne, and before they hired Brian, they were both out there at animal control, helping, seeing what really the process is. Before that, I don't think anybody realized how difficult it is for the people out there and how hard they work.
And it's not just we have to remember too, this is not just a Crescent City. We have to have some grace here too, because this is not just a Crescent City issue. It's a county, it's a countrywide issue. And as concerned as we are, Interlochen is concerned, all of our communities, Black is concerned, all of them are concerned when you've got a pack of dogs.
You have over 800 square miles in Putnam County, most of it rural roads, and it's difficult, it's wide open. I'm not making excuses for them, but it's difficult.
And we do have an advantage because Donald does park his truck here, and Donald is outstanding, and he comes through early in the morning, and he comes through at night, and he checks. So we do have that advantage, but we just have to all stay alert, and I just would say that if you have the opportunity, get the best picture that you possibly can and identify where the location was.
Right, they've had people from outside the town threaten to come in and start poisoning or catching. What if you get the wrong dog? Somebody's dog could get out that night, it's not a threat, and then you've got a problem. So you can't take it into your own hands and just start killing them willy-nilly.
No, and we hope that's not.
Yeah.
That's
not the answer.
Right, and dogs get loose. Let's just say dogs, we've all had dogs that have dogs, that sometimes they'll dart for whatever reason, squirrel. Mine's a possum, a possum. Cats get loose, you open the door and the cat will dart out. And so, for some of those owners too, we have to have some grace for them as well and not go on some sort of a hunt. So, yes, Commissioner DeVito.
No, I'm just saying, I think we can kind of tell the dogs that are hungry and eating people's cats and the neighbor dogs that are cute, and we know them. You can tell.
But they're not eating the cats. A lot of times,
They're just flipping.
my understanding is a cat, it's a kid. It's just, unfortunately, it's for the kill.
whatever, but there's definitely dogs out there that look neglected.
There are.
And like they're not happy and, well, it's just, I mean, there's two situations.
And Linda, I don't know how in the world y'all deal with them there because, I would have to protect all of them. That commercial on TV just, makes me, yeah. So anyway, any other discussion on this? Any public comment? I'm sorry, we didn't open up for public comment, we were just talking to the public. Okay, with that, then I'm gonna close that item out, and then, Charles, do you have anything to report? Mr. Pickens, do you have anything to report?
No, ma'am.
Nothing, okay. Commissioners, do we have anything to
I
report?
just have one question.
Okay, Commissioner.
How's the RV park going?
They've been, the final site plan's been approved, so reach out to them and see how they're doing with their other permits.
Okay,
They've got our approval, they just need to get DOT, water management, so forth. They anticipated to begin moving dirt late September, early October. So hopefully we'll see something soon.
and Wood Street, are we almost done laying all that pipe?
Yeah, all the pipes in, I think we were waiting on just electricity to the pump station, the lift station. That's the final step, I'm not sure the status of that, I can find out.
And all the people that, all the storefronts and everything, are they ready to tie in or once it's
Oh,
ready to go?
commercial?
Yeah,
The challenge with much of that commercial, there's a strip of land between them and that right of way
okay,
that belongs with the corner parcel that wraps around that house.
Mhm.
So, at some point they'll have to work out, when they're ready to connect, if they're ready an easement through that to connect, but it's ready, the pipes, if that electricity is done, it's ready for them.
and now the public square, is that still up for sale or is it just public square, whatever we wanna call it, the farmer's market where
We still have the RFP out for that on the website.
No lights ever? Okay, get a new place to put it out there then, I would think.
Well, I think once we have the master plan done, we'll have some conceptual renderings that gives us a tool to sell.
To sell it,
Okay.
okay. Tell me that.
Yes, sir.
So I know the state is very slow about moving. The sign, the south end sign with your mesh and people can walk through the light flash.
Oh, yeah.
One that's been run over.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
one that was busted.
It's been busted for about 4 or 5 months now. And I think our city man went down and pulled it back around some out the way.
Yeah, I'll have to check on the status. I believe that's our responsibility.
You fix that back?
But generally, when you do a DOT project, part of what you sign is accepting maintenance of the project. So, that's where I gotta look and see what, I believe that's ours. Public Works thought it was the state, or the county, and they said, no, it's yours, so, it'll be in the documents.
Kind of like this boat ramp, we're going back and forth, who's responsible, who does it belong to?
It's a hot potato, but I think it's our potato.
One more, our lights. If Florida Power Light got that contract, or who got that contract?
Florida Power, yeah, they're supposed to be putting those in, I believe, done
Yeah, what did we do in November?
November, yeah, still the deadline.
Should have asked him today, he was at that lunch, and like, we should have, I didn't even think about to ask him.
Yeah, we can check on it.
I have his info.
We've seen the plans, we know they've got plans.
You guys, oh, Lord, let's give up, see that? Okay.
That's what you got? Okay, Commissioner Vito?
Well, actually, Charles, there was an item that was supposed to be on the agenda, and you and I had some communication about it. It's not on the agenda. What is the status of amending the pension plan? Because we didn't actually vote to amend it.
You did, the motion was to approve it and to provide you with the documents, which we did.
That wasn't my motion to approve it.
It was your motion, I listened back to the YouTube video. And you
No, I
moved
said
to
I
approve.
would, no, I said to authorize you to bring it back to us
No, ma'am.
in document.
You check the video, you move to approve, and then you guys, we wanted to see the documents, and I said we can provide those to you. The mayor actually checked with you, that you were certain that's their motion.
No.
You said yes. So it's been signed by the board, the pension board. And I don't know if it's been transmitted yet or not, but it has been transmitted, yeah.
That was not my motion. And so I don't understand why we're communicating about this. That was not my motion.
Which meeting was that, Charles?
The 14th.
The 14th.
We'll check.
Yeah, it's on
We'll check.
YouTube, you can listen to it.
Yeah, I will, I'll listen for it.
And that was for us to, with that, we gave the additional 3.5%,
Yes, it was just to increase 3.5%, which was in the budget you approved.
allow them earlier than the first year, immediately,
Yeah,
and over in 18 and not 21, correct?
Those
Those were
just
the
those
three
three
changes.
changes.
Those were three changes.
Okay, so the problem I see with this is the additional 3.5% is in the budget this year, but we never had projections out. We never had a description of what the plan was about. You and I exchanged an email that it turns out is a defined contribution plan. And we don't have projections as to what our cost is going to be year over year relative to the rest of the budget. I mean, we never did those projections. So this is just done, it's been signed.
It's in the budget though, I mean, that we've already accounted for that, so
We
that'll be a
had it contributing
recurring, that
5%.
amount will be recurring
Yeah, every year.
every year.
Right, but what we never saw was how does that look in years 6, 7, and 8?
And that depends on payroll, how much is payroll. So this year we added 2 positions. So it would be, we could estimate how many positions we might add, but.
Right, but also payroll will increase,
Yes.
payroll will increase because of minimum wage and a lot of other factors, trying to stay competitive. Okay, another question, what is the status of the land development code?
You have a workshop next Thursday to review what planning and zoning went over in August, I think it was. You're behind because you didn't have the workshop in September.
sent them out today.
They're gonna finish their review, at their October meeting, so you'll probably finish in November. And then, the workshops, and then you'll have, public hearings, 2 public hearings to, final approval,
So we're looking at possibly the first of the year.
probably January or February.
Okay.
And that's at 3:00, the workshop on that.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, have we fully paid them for that contract?
Yes,
So why have we paid them when it's not done? Was
well,
that,
because it's not done because we've added so much to it, well beyond the scope. All these workshops and reviews, this additional review. Yeah, costs money, so it'll be done.
okay, then, and how are we doing, the delegation meeting is coming up on October 6th, correct?
Yes, at the
So
county.
and to clarify for everybody, that's the Putnam County Legislative Delegation meeting.
And you will not be there, correct? You nor Commissioner Burton will be there?
I hope so.
Right, I'll be in Orlando at the League of Cities Policy Committee meeting, while I guess you and the city manager and maybe Commissioner Banks and whoever else, I guess, could be there. So we're on track with our projects and.
We have the water, they're mostly water projects, the fire station. I do have the Senate forms, I'm filling those out, I have the House forms ready. And then once we finish that meeting, we'll submit them to the respective staffs for their review and recommendations.
Right, and so my concern with the fire station is, we haven't even had anything in writing about what we're asking for. Are we asking for the legislature to fund plans, or are we asking them to fund the plans that were previously drawn?
Well, last year, we had a conversation with Representative Payne. He felt he could get a station similar to what they just got approved, was it either East Palatka or Interlochen?
And one, I think it was interlocking,
Which
and
is
that's
about a $2 million station. So I talked to our chief about our needs with an ambulance and potentially sheriff's substation. So we're looking at asking for $3 million for the station.
Right, but, so that would require a whole other set of plans, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it would be for a design build, essentially. We would want to pay somebody to design and then construct the facility.
That would be the entire,
We'll talk to Representative Payne. If he feels like we ought to back off and ask for resign money, we'll do that based on his recommendation. But last year, he said, I think I can get you this, let's go forward with the whole thing, and got water main projects, which we're grateful for.
and he mentioned to us today too, that he knows that we've got projects
Yeah.
that we want to bring forward, so.
Right, but I guess my point is if we're gonna enter into a joint venture with the sheriff and we're gonna build something that's totally different than what we've seen plans for and heard about from our fire chief, at some point, it seems like this should come before the commission to talk about, where we're gonna put it, what's it gonna look like.
I can put that on the agenda for October if you want.
Well, I think at some point, we need to agree what we're asking for, what we would want to use the money for and let the, public comment.
And it's very similar to, it's actually what we did last year. My understanding, because last year we talked in the introduction, I believe, when we were talking about that it would also be the sheriff's substation. When we made our presentation and when you submitted the legislative request, correct?
I thought the fire chief came over and did and explained.
But I think the substation idea was added later. We've never seen an actual plan for that. I just remember Colonel Wells came and said, oh, we want to join with you in a substation.
It's just conceptual right now.
It's
Right.
conceptual, I don't know, unless we're ready to expend that money for a plan, we all know how much these plans cost.
Yeah, that was very expensive.
So it's very expensive, so, I don't know that we're at that stage that we can bring a plan, that we could look at a plan.
Right, but I'm saying at some point, we need to know what we're doing since we're asking for it. And then, the other thing that's still outstanding is we had scheduled a goals and objectives workshop for the commission. That was canceled back in August because of some of the uncertainty and we have never rescheduled that.
We can schedule that.
Okay, so I guess that was all the questions I have for the city manager.
So we'll need to schedule that and a November, land development code workshop as well. If you want to wait till October meeting, we can schedule those at that time.
Okay.
Unless you think you might want to have one of them before that meeting.
Next week is pretty full, right? Yeah, next week is pretty full, so is the week after, so. So no, I think we'd be fine, we'll just do it on the 12th. So is everyone okay with that, if we do it on the 12th, set our dates? Sure. We'll have a calendar, Karen, we can have calendars then.
It's not a Wednesday.
Not a Wednesday, it's a Thursday. It's a regular commission meeting. We're gonna go, yeah. But before that, keep in mind that on next Thursday, we have a 3 p.m. workshop.
Yes.
When you both will be here, you're going down on Friday,
Yes.
Yes,
so you'll be here on Thursday.
I'm good for the Thursday workshop.
Sorry for the fifth, okay. Okay. Do we have anything else?
Couple things I wanted to bring up. I don't know if anybody else got one, but I got a letter from the Winn-Dixie Pharmacy saying, dear customer, we are closing as of October 12th.
They are.
So, a couple meetings or workshops ago, not the last meeting, but before that, we had a brief chat. We've talked about this several times about the Aldi's purchase of Winn-Dixie and the uncertainty of what is going to go on. Well, we now know the pharmacy is closing. At one point, Mayor made a suggestion that we communicate with Aldi's. I think your first suggestion was that we send them a letter welcoming them to our community. And then we talked a little bit about the impact and whether it might be possible to specifically communicate with Aldi's. And the last thing I heard was that you were going to try to get contact information.
And I did get contact information, and she and I played, some phone tag. But my understanding, and she's with Winn-Dixie Sign, but my understanding from what has been relayed to me is that, that's not, the pharmacy is definitely, that Aldi's is not interested in that. They sold all of those off to, I believe CVS, Walgreens, and possibly Publix, where it was, necessary. And, I do know that our community pharmacy she is gearing up. And some people have, I believe, already have transferred, have switched over. So I believe that people are, it's my understanding that people are making arrangements. I didn't get the letter because I'm not a Winn-Dixie, I'm a public, I have to do Publix.
Right,
So I didn't get,
right, and then regardless, it doesn't matter, I mean,
I don't have to do that, it's still my insurance. My insurance requires that, I'm sorry, it's not anything, I love Winn-Dixie, our Winn-Dixie is outstanding, Larry does an incredible job, incredible job.
it's okay, but so my concern is still, we're just here waiting for things to happen, and one of the things that I see missing, unless the community pharmacy is going to do this, is the vaccine program that Winn-Dixie offers. Have you spoken at all to community pharmacy as to whether they're gonna do that?
I have not, but I know that I've had a vaccine done here at a community pharmacy before.
Me too.
That they offer them?
Really?
So, but I can reach out to, I'll reach out to her and see, but I know I've had my vaccine, I've had a vaccine done there. Matter of fact, she did my COVID vaccine, that's what she was doing that. So chances are, and I think she has two pharmacists, it's, she and Mark is, part-time, and she mentioned, he also, I believe, works at CVS. And so she's trying to work on how to bring him in to full-time, so they would have, both of them. There's a large volume, that's gonna be the biggest thing, is when Dixie does just such a large volume of, prescriptions. So it's who's gonna be able to keep up with it. And, it's a change, unfortunately, it's going for a change, but my understanding is, and of course, this is not in writing, but that they will stay with Dixie.
Well, there's I went into Winn-Dixie today to get a prescription drug, and they offered up that there's a new, place, Palaca Pharmacy, a brand new place up in Palaca, I'm not exactly sure where it is.
It's beside the Hitchcock, it's in the same plaza as Hitchcock's, and it's right next door.
But yeah, they told me to give them a call, and, that they would actually deliver to Crescent City as well, so, I'm not sure, this was all new to me today. I don't get very many prescriptions from, Winn-Dixie, mine come through the mail. The other thing I also noticed, I had a doctor's appointment this week, and Island Doctors is where I go. And they are offering COVID and flu shots, which is a first for them. They've never done that before, so, a lot of people stepping up to fill that void here in the community, so.
Who is it? Aza has a pharmacy too?
Yes.
Okay, so Aza has a pharmacy too. And I know Pearson has a pharmacy as well. So, it's, unfortunately, I thought it would have been a great idea if they would have leased that out to possibly that space, because I don't know if they know what they're gonna do with that space there. But the pharmacy is, but don't know that that's something that they're really interested in at this point in time. Right. And,
Economically, there's the service side for people who live here, because not everybody wants to drive or can drive to Palaca or Pearson, but then on the economic development side, there's always a danger whether you're a neighborhood or whether you're a town. If people are going to East Palaca or to Pearson to shop for a particular item, then they buy other things there. Just saying, that's just the situation.
See, CVS, for example, I know if you set up a CVS, they'll actually mail most of your prescriptions. Most places now will mail your scripts, so you don't necessarily always have to drive to get them. It's usually the one that comes out of nowhere, that you might have to drive to get the prescription, but I think most people that have every normal kind of drugs, can usually get them through the mail. That's all mine are set up.
I believe community pharmacy, you were there, weren't you, when she came out and spoke to, were you there when she spoke to us that day?
No, when we were doing the tour
Yeah.
for the grant, I've been to community pharmacy and I needed to call and do something else, so. I have one more item that I need to bring up that's very important because, as commissioners, we can't talk to each other outside the meeting. So, someone sent to me, something that Commissioner Burton posted on social media about the payment of her legal fees. And I just wanted to address it directly because I cannot have a discussion outside the meeting.
Okay, I don't know that we need to.
First of all,
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, I did not post anything on Facebook about my legal fees.
That's under your name.
I don't think so.
Is that on our agenda for the
No,
next?
sir, it's not.
We'll miss it.
It's not. So I'm gonna say if, this will
We
be,
can discuss this, but not, we
this,
don't need this to be brought.
this will be brought up at the next meeting, correct? Okay, so we can address it then. Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. They just leave. Talk faster.